How do you charge really high prices for one-on-one coaching? Like, that is a big question I get all the time. Should you charge high prices for one-on-one coaching? Is that even okay? How do you sell high-ticket one-on-one coaching? What does it even include? These are all really good questions. And today, what I want to do is unpack the exact strategy to price your coaching and sell your coaching. Even if you don't know if you want to do one-on-one coaching, you need this episode and you need to go through this exercise, and I'll explain to you why when we dive in. So if you've ever had questions about high-ticket coaching, no matter what your industry or niche is in, this is the episode for you. Lean in, sit back, relax. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Graham Cochran Show, where each week I'm helping you unpack the mindset, strategies, and habits to build a highly profitable and life-giving business. I'm your host, Graham Cochran. Makes sense. The show's called The Graham Cochran Show. Pumped to hang out with you today. Let's talk about one-on-one coaching. And what I want to do is share a question that I got inside of my coaching community. These are all people trying to build their business to 6 figures or more. This question hit me like a ton of bricks, and we had a powerful conversation inside of that. But without naming names, I'm going to read the question because I think this is very relevant. He asked, my question is about one-on-one coaching and how to navigate pricing changes. I love teaching privately, and at the moment, I feel it's integral to my mental health, which I think is interesting. We've done so many courses. This is a side note. You do courses, you do podcasts and YouTube like this, and you're not interacting with real people. You start to lose your mind a little bit. So he's seeing the value personally for just doing the one-on-one coaching. And he knows that his instruction is helping people, okay? Now, he's building his business following what I teach as my product suite roadmap. And so he's like, it makes sense, Graham, that one-on-one coaching needs to be the highest pricing tier. And I'd be stoked to charge 3 times what I currently do for those who can pay it. But at that rate, frankly, it's only going to be wealthy people who can afford it. I know that raising my rates that high would make lessons unaffordable for several of my favorite students, given their professions and incomes. Thoughts on offering some sort of scholarship or need-based option for folks who demonstrate a serious passion and aptitude for what I teach? He's in the music space. Without undercutting the rest of the pricing model, basically wants to know, what do we do with these people that can't afford what he thinks he wants to charge for his coaching? So what I want to do is quickly share what I shared with him, and then I'm going to walk you through some really, really tactical stuff on raising your prices for coaching. Here's something very interesting that he says, and I bring up this question because I feel like it perfectly summed up how a lot of people feel when it comes to charging high prices for anything, let alone one-on-one coaching. He says he understands the value of having high-ticket coaching, and he would be stoked to charge 3 times whatever he's currently charging. I don't know what his rate is, but he says it's only going to be wealthy people who can afford it. Stop. This is a massive assumption, not a fact, not even a probability. It's just an assumption that he has made. He says it like it's a fact, but at that rate, frankly, it's only going to be wealthy people who can afford it. How do you know that? Who put you in charge of their wallets? The first thing you got to understand about anything you sell, especially high-ticket products, is that it is not your job to determine what someone else can afford. If you do that, if you say they can't afford it, guess what? You're not going to offer it, and therefore they're not going to have a chance to buy it. You're literally proving yourself right by just making the decision for them. No, I'm not going to offer high-ticket coaching because they can't afford it. Only ultra-wealthy people can. You don't know that. It's not even actually probable that that's the reality. Here's how do I know this? How many people have cars that are really expensive that probably you look at their income and you look at where they live and you're like, can you really afford that? They found a way. I'm not saying they might have used the best way. A lot of people take on debt to buy a car, which makes 0 sense. It's a depreciating asset, especially when you talk about a luxury car. But hey, that's what people do. They found a way to buy the BMW or the Mercedes or the Tesla because they wanted it. People find a way to buy the thing they want. Does Mercedes only sell to wealthy people? No. They sell to wealthy people. They sell to anybody, whoever gets the money. And they don't feel bad about their prices. They don't run a special like, hey, it's Black Friday. We're going to cut our car costs down in half so that you normal people can afford it. No. They make payment plans, AKA car loans. They'll do leases to make it a little more accessible, but they're not reducing the price. They're just stretching out how long it takes to pay it and actually costs you more. That's about all they'll do. But they're not bringing their prices down because they know that the average person, I live in Tampa, Florida. I know the average and even the median income in this city. And I look at the average car I see on the road. There is no way the median or average person in this city can afford the cars that they drive. There's no way. People, I'm like my income, and this is not bragging, but like if you look at the numbers, and I was just looking at this recently because there's an article that just came out in the Tampa Bay Times about this. I am in the top 1% of all earners in my state and city. The whole U.S., to be honest. I'm in the top 1%. I could drive whatever car I want to drive. The people that drive around in the city drive nicer cars than me. And I know what they make statistically. They can't afford it statistically. But guess what? They found a way. People will find a way. Now, that's not a great example because I don't think people need a car, where I think your coaching could really help them more than a car can. Here's another example I gave this gentleman on the call. If you have a child and they get sick with a terminal illness and they're going to die in 3 months, but you find out that there is this new drug in Switzerland that is safe, that's been tested, that will remove that disease and guarantee without a shadow of a doubt that they will survive, but it costs $200,000. Would you find a way to pay for that drug? You better believe you would. That drug maker is not going to discount it because, oh, your child's dying. I'm not going to discount it. That drug is worth infinitely more than $200,000 because your child's life is worth. How could you put a price on someone's life? You will find a way. You'll increase your income. You'll sell crap. You'll live in a van instead of your house. You'll rent. You'll live with your in-laws. You'll sleep on a friend's sofa. You'll whatever, take on a little bit of a loan. You'll do all the things because it'll save their life. My point is, in these silly or dramatic examples, it's not your job to tell people what they can afford. That's their decision to make. You don't know their financials. You don't even know what they value. They may not look like they should afford that, but if they don't spend money anywhere else and that's all they care about, let them spend their money on that. Your job is to price your coaching where it should be and let them decide if they can afford it. So please don't make that decision for them. That's the first mistake he made, and I encouraged him that way, is that you're making a massive assumption that's not even based on facts. Second, he talks about offering some sort of scholarship. So he's like, can we offer a discount? Which is now just sort of taking that idea further. Here's what I told him. If you're doing what I teach you to do, you're giving out so much free, transformative content every single week on the internet. There's no reason to discount anything. If they can't afford your coaching, no problem. Just enjoy my YouTube channel. Just enjoy my podcast. Just enjoy my blogs. Just enjoy these free emails I send out every week with value. If you were to do 20% of the stuff that I teach for free, you'd be a millionaire. You don't have to buy anything from me. That's how confident I am in my free stuff, and you should be confident in your free stuff too. So you'll never have to feel bad about charging high prices for something that's paid because you give so much away for free. Don't do this middle ground of like discounting. Just have premium stuff and then free stuff. Don't play in the mushy middle. That way you don't have to feel guilty, like buy my stuff or don't. Don't feel bad. If you can't buy it, don't feel bad. I love you just the same. I have people that email me and they literally feel bad. They say, Graham, I feel bad. I've never bought anything from you, but I followed your free workshop. I watched some videos. I launched a business. I made $45,000 last week and I've never done this before and I've never bought anything from you. So much so that they will actually just send me money or buy my courses, not to actually watch them, but just as like a tip, a little bit of reciprocity. That's how good my free stuff is. That's how good your free stuff should be. That makes me sleep well at night, so I don't worry if they don't buy my stuff. So this is the context for what I want to talk about now. We're going to get into some nitty-gritty. I want to walk you through 3 things. 4 reasons you should charge high prices for one-on-one coaching, how much you should charge, and then how to actually sell high-ticket coaching. This is going to be a little masterclass in coaching. Are you ready? And if you're paying attention, this is a little meta. I am giving you a masterclass in high-ticket coaching for free. And you don't have to pay me for this, but it's going to be transformative if you actually apply it. because that's the business model I believe in. I give you so much value for free. I know that eventually you'll become a customer of mine, and you'll be a customer for life. Okay? It's a little meta if you want to nerd out on that stuff. Ready? Okay. 4 reasons. This is so important. Before we get into how much to charge and how to charge, you got to understand why. You have to feel so crystal clear about this. And I think people miss this. And so they might start raising their rates or charging a price, and it all collapses because they feel so bad. They haven't dealt with these limiting beliefs. There's something wrong in their mindset first. So the number one reason to have high ticket coaching and have high prices is it's a price anchor for all your other products. If you have a coaching package that's $1,000 a package, it makes your $47 course seem like a bargain. Because like, hey, I charge $1,000 for coaching, but this course, that's only $47. You can literally say that in your sales copy. And I do this all the time. When you get to the section of your sales page where you reveal the price, because again, you never reveal it at the top because it's just backwards. They don't care the price. They don't even care what it is. They care about, can you solve my problems? That's why the first part of the sales copy is all about, do you have this problem? I found a way to solve it. Now they're a bit more interested. And then we can talk about how we solve it. What's the vehicle? Is it a course? Is it a membership? Is it coaching? Is it a live event? Is it a book? And then we can talk about the price. Once we've communicated the value, then that's when price makes sense. So once you get to that part of the sales page, the number one way to sell your thing and to make that price seem like a good deal is to compare it to what are their other options. Those options could be with somebody else, or those options could be with you at a high price. So one of the ways I price anchor my online course, I might have a course for $500. It's like, well, $500. I know. Here's what I normally charge a one-on-one client. My prices start at $5,000 for an hour of my time to teach this stuff. But this course is only $500. Oh, wow, it's a lot cheaper. That's a tenth of the price, right? And it's for way more than just an hour of his time. It's a price anchor. So if you can get clear on your high ticket coaching package, even without having a client, this is not unethical, by the way, because this is what you should be charging when you get a client. It's a great price anchor. It's best to actually do the coaching so that you can say that and feel like really good about it. Like my prices that I list as price anchors are actual prices I charge for real clients, but it's a powerful price anchor for your other products. Number 2, reason to charge high prices for one-on-one coaching, it creates an aspirational purchase for your customers. I think all of your students, all of your customers should have that aspirational product they want to get into. That could be your mastermind. That could be a big high-ticket group coaching program. But one-on-one coaching, private coaching is usually the most you can charge for something, because think about it. People are paying for personalization and proximity to their favorite educators. Personalization and proximity. A course is not very personal. It's here's the curriculum. And the proximity is only but so close. I'll answer some questions inside of the course platform. A community is a lot more personalized because now I can interact with you in the community and I can coach you live on a group coaching call. And the proximity is a lot closer because now you can interact with me in my private community and you can talk to me on a live coaching call. So we've got a little closer and a little more personalized. A small mastermind of 12 to 15 people is a lot more personalized because then you can each get hot seats and I can literally coach you on your business. And it's a lot more proximity because now you know me and I know you because there's only 12 to 15 of you and we meet every week. You see how proximity and personalization have gotten a lot closer. And then one-on-one coaching is the ultimate. It's 100% personal because it's all about you, my client. It's 100% proximity because it's just you and me, buddy, talking. And then imagine that in person, like a VIP day. Well, now we're doing that in the flesh. We're going out to dinner. We're going out to lunch. You're hanging out with me. We can get a selfie together. Like, this sounds weird, but like, think about your favorite educator or influencer. Like, if you could spend a day with them and they could help you directly, like, you can see the value goes up and up and up. It's great to have this in your back pocket as an aspirational purchase. So somebody buys a course or they're a member of your community and they say, you know what, I can't afford Graham's one-on-one coaching prices right now, but I'm going to grow my business or increase my income or sell some crap and one day save up enough money so that I can do that because that's something I want. There's something powerful for your students to have an aspirational purchase. Even my mastermind was an aspirational purchase for many of my members in my community. They're paying $97 a month, and they're like, dude, I don't have $1,250 a month or $1,500 a month, but when I get to the level where I can afford that every month, I want to join your mastermind. It gave them something to shoot for. It gave them something to work for. It sounds really weird, and it maybe sounds egotistical when I'm saying it. It sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but I'm just telling you it's powerful. So it's a price anchor for your other products. It's an aspirational purchase for your students. And let's get into the two biggest reasons why you should charge high prices for one-on-one coaching. Number one, it's best for you. And I know what you're thinking. Well, of course, I make more money. No. This is not about the money. The higher you charge, the higher the price you charge, the more you're going to enjoy it. Why? Because you're going to filter out people who aren't serious. By virtue of the price, they're going to be like, nah. Only people who are really, really serious, who really are committed, who are going to listen to everything you say, who are going to show up on time, who are going to take your advice. They're not going to blow you off. They're going to be like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Like, they're going somewhere. If they're hungry enough to pay you for your coaching, that means they're hungry enough to go do the thing, which means they're going to go do great things in the world in whatever the niche is. And those are the people you want to work with. The higher the prices I charge, the better the people I get and the more fun I have with them. So if you want to be selfish for a moment, if you want to enjoy coaching, if you're not enjoying coaching and you're already getting paid to do it, you're probably charging too little. I hate to say it, but you're attracting the wrong kind of person. If you want better clients, raise your rates. You'll get clients that you love working with. It's facts. So it's best for you. But the fourth and most important reason you should charge high prices for one-on-one coaching is that it's best for them. How could this be true? This is the number one reason why I charge what I charge for my one-on-one coaching. They will enjoy it more. Not only will you enjoy it more, they will enjoy it more because when someone invests a lot of money, they're more committed. When they're more committed, they get better results. And that's what they're paying for. Can I tell you a little secret? I teach how to launch online businesses in a book. It's called How to Get Paid for What You Know. It's great. You should read it. It's $25 max. Sometimes it's discounted on Amazon. I also teach that same stuff to clients one-on-one for $54,000. Now, there's some nuances there, but pretty much I'm teaching the same stuff. Most people buy my book. They might read through chapter 2. Statistically, they don't. And even the ones that do, chances of them actually actioning on that, starting their business, making lots of money are very slim. Because why? They just paid 25 bucks. It's just a book. They read it on vacation. They loved it. They enjoyed it. They might have even left me a review, but did they do it? Most people not. You might be the exception. I've had people reach out and like, read your book, launched a business. I'm making 6 figures. Thank you so much. That's who I write the book for. But the sad reality is that most people won't do it. Why? Because they're not that invested. It's only 25 bucks. I buy a book a day. I've got books piling up I haven't even read. I bought it. Doesn't mean I'm going to read it. 20 bucks, 25 bucks. If you invest $54,000 to work with me, you better believe you're going to show up, do the work, because you want your money's worth. You're hungry because you've invested a lot of money. Guess what happens when you're hungry and you get your money's worth? You get your money's worth. You get results. You take massive action. You have massive clarity. This matters. I'm going to figure this out. It sounds so obvious, but it's just like so missed. If your clients aren't getting great results, you're probably not charging enough and they're probably not committed enough. So here's the magical thing. You just increase your rates and all of a sudden you get better clients that you enjoy. They're getting better results, which are giving you better testimonials, and you're making more money. How is this possible? This is the psychology of coaching. This is not ripping people off. This is just people get in what they put in. And the people who pay attention. People who don't usually don't. Hey, we'll get back to the episode in just a moment, but I wanted to give you a gift for hanging out with me in today's episode. I want to give you access to a free on-demand video training to teach you how to build your first $1,000 of passive income in just 30 minutes a day. This workshop is packed with not only the things you need to create passive income, but the order in which you need to create them, how they tie together, templates you can use for swipe copy, scripts you can use, the exact tools that are both free and cheap that you can implement and use today, including how to figure out what your profitable idea is if you haven't launched your business. I cover all of this. I pull back the curtain on my business model that I'm using right now while you're enjoying this episode and how I'm generating $1 million a year plus in 2 businesses. It's all inside of this workshop and it's free. I want you to watch it because it is the business model I believe believe in. If you like what you'll see in this workshop, then you will know that what I'm teaching you has got substance and it's a good fit for you. So watch it, take notes, and apply it, and you can build an online passive income business off of a free video training. Just go to grahamcochran.com/workshop. That's grahamcochran.com/workshop. Now back to the episode. All right, how much should you charge? This is one of the biggest questions I get. The caveat is you got to figure this out for yourself. But let me give you a back of the napkin answer and then 2 strategies to help you raise your rates. Number 1, the back of the napkin answer. It should at least be 10 times the cost of your main offer. So if you have a $100 course that you're selling in your funnel, your coaching should start at $1,000. If your main thing is a $50 a month membership, look at how many months people typically stick around. If that's 5 months, and that's 5 times 50, it's $250, then it should be 10x that, $2,500. That is a way to come up with a price for coaching if you want a back of the napkin answer. Here's 2 ways if you're already coaching to think about where your prices should be. Number 1 is you should just double your rates now, just 2x them now. Why? So simple. You only need half the clients to make the same amount of money. So if half your clients say, no, I can't afford that, you start to get twice as many no's when you pitch it, you'll still make the same amount of money. Only have half of your time back. And they'll be better clients and they'll get better results because we just talked about. So just 2x your rates. And then if that doesn't work for you, because you're like, no, Graham, I can never do that. And all of these answers, if that's the case, are just limiting beliefs. Like whatever you say, that's what it is. Like it's really up to you. The third way is just pick a price that scares you and then add 20% to that. This is something I learned from Rich Litvin, who I think is one of the best coaches in the world and the best coaches on how to coach. You should go read his book, The Prosperous Coach. His new book is coming out soon, The Powerful Coach. But The Prosperous Coach is his model for getting clients. I love it. It's a give first model, which we'll talk about in a second briefly. And then his new book, The Powerful Coach, is more of like what to do in the coaching sessions to get great results. It's a lot more for like life coaches and high performance coaches. So that may not be as meaningful to you if you're like in a very specific niche like fitness or music or whatever. But check out his first book, The Prosperous Coach. I've worked with him in a year's time. I mean, it was great working with him directly. But one of the things he said that I just loved was pick a price that scares you and then add 20%. The reason you add 20% is because if they say yes, you'll be so freaking glad that you did, and you would have been so pissed if it was 20% less than that, right? So it's like it gives you that proof that like, oh my gosh, I made extra money just because I pushed myself. It's just a way to psychologically push yourself. Pick a price that scares you and then add 20%. Now, you might be asking, Graham, is this like, are you saying that's an hourly rate? Like what the heck? No. When you sell coaching, you never sell your time because that's not what we're selling. When you're selling your time, people compare you to other people with hourly rates. And that's a stupid way to price coaching. You're also not selling number of calls because that's not what people are buying. They're not buying your time. They're not buying a package of calls. They're buying results. They're buying results. So when you sell in a package of amount of time you're going to work together. We're going to work together for 90 days, 6 months, a year. You're selling a package of we're going to work together for a fixed amount of time. And in a minute, I'm going to teach you how to actually sell the coaching, but you're really selling the transformation they're going to have after working with you for that period of time. You work with me for a year, we're going to do X. You work with me for 3 months, we're going to achieve Y. That's what you're selling. You're selling the transformation, just like with your course, just like with your membership, like anything else. We're not selling the actual 50 videos, a community. Nobody wants to buy a community. Nobody wants to buy videos. They want the transformation that they get. They don't care what the vehicle is. Coaching is the vehicle. Coaching is a tool. It's a powerful vehicle and a powerful tool to do what? That's what you're really selling. So sell these things in packages. So when I say like $1,000, I mean as a package. And you can decide how many calls they get or how long that is. None of that really matters because it's just like, what does it take to get them a result? That's what matters. They're going to want to ask how many calls. You can mention that, whatever you think, but the calls aren't what you're selling. So do not let them make that the conversation. It's about the transformation and how much time you think it takes working together to get that transformation. So let's kind of land this plane here. Let's talk about how to actually sell the coaching. Okay. I'm going to give you 4 strategies. And let's start with something that'll maybe give you some confidence. If you're like, do I just jump on Zoom calls with people? What do I do? Okay. Here are 3 questions or 3 things you need to fill out to give you some confidence and maybe give some meat on this coaching package that you're going to sell. First thing I want you to do, the first one is to list out the 5 biggest challenges that your client or student might have. 5 biggest challenges that your typical client or student will have. If you're in the fitness or weight loss space, like you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a podcast, you've got an email list, you've got products maybe. You're interacting with these people. You're already teaching them. What do you know are the 5 biggest challenges they face generically across the board? Now, your clients, when you get into actual coaching, the power of coaching is not just taking them through curriculum. Real powerful coaching is bespoke. It's custom. So it's like, what do you want to create? What can I help you with? Where are you stuck? And like, you could go all in on that one thing. You never want to go in assuming you know what they need. You really have to ask them and get custom. But you need to know what are the 5 biggest challenges your typical customer or client faces so that when you talk about the types of things you help clients with, you've got talking points, right? You got things you can actually talk about. So take a minute, write down what are the 5 biggest challenges your typical student or client faces, even if they're free students. Same challenges. Number 2 thing you got to write down is what are 1 to 2 provocative or spiky points of view, as Rich Liffen would say, that you have. A way of seeing the world that most people don't. I'm in the business space, so you could say, oh, Graham's a business coach. And I might say the 5 biggest challenges I help people with is launching their business, getting into a content rhythm, building an audience, automating their sales process, scaling. I don't know. I've figured out what those 5 challenges are, right? It could be any one of those things. But what is one of my provocative or spiky points of view that makes me a little bit unique? I would say if you can't create a multi-6-figure a year business working 20 hours a week or less, you're doing it wrong. If it takes you 40 hours a week to make 6 figures, your business is broken. Now, some people get pissed off when I say that. That's spiky. Now we're onto something. But it's something I really believe, right? Because I've built multiple 7-figure a year businesses that only take 5 hours a week to run. That's pretty dope. I don't say that to brag. I say that very intentionally to be provocative and spiky because it's a way of seeing business that not everyone sees. There's plenty of people who will teach you how to make lots of money. You just have to work 80 hours a week and hustle, hustle, hustle. Rise and grind, baby. Not Graham. Not good old Uncle Graham. That's not how I roll. What is your 1 or 2 provocative or spiky points of view that you have? This is very important when you're selling coaching as you mention this stuff because it's like, oh, this is a distinction that she has. This is a distinction that he has. And it really helps you solidify yourself as a coach in a very crowded niche because every niche is crowded at this point. That's fine. What makes you provocative? What makes you spiky? Have at least 1. 2 would be awesome. And the third and final thing you need to get some basic copy for your coaching packages is what is the result that someone would get coming out of working with you? And if you help people in a variety of ways, then come up with 3 so that you can and write them down so they're actually in front of you so that when you're talking to people about coaching, whether in a video or live or in person, whatever, you can be like, typically after working with me, my clients make more money in their business, cut their work hours in half, and have more joy doing it. Like those are 3 typical results my clients have after working with me. They're making more money than ever. They've cut their work hours in half, and they're having more fun than ever doing it every week. They look forward to getting to the office. Those are 3 typical results my clients have. What are they for you? If you're like in the weight loss space, my clients they typically feel confident knowing what to eat, and there's no food shame or guilt, and they've usually lost on average 20 pounds, and they I don't know, what. Again, you're not promising them these specific results. You're saying the typical client that works with me, when we're done working together in our program, they typically have this main result or these 2 to 3 results. You want this written down in your notes app on your phone or in a Google Doc somewhere or a sticky note on your desk for 2 reasons. 1, you want to look at it and go, yes, I can help people. Even if you've never coached somebody one-on-one, if you've done a YouTube video that's helped somebody or done a podcast episode that's helped somebody or you have a course that's helped somebody, you've done these things. This is just a different vehicle. Coaching is just a different vehicle, but you can be confident to look at that sticky note or look at your phone and say, man, I do help people, and I help people who have these challenges, and I help them get these results. And I think about things a little bit differently, and that makes me feel confident. I don't have to be like her or like him. This is one of my uniquenesses. It's a little provocative. Not everyone likes it, but if people do like it, they're going to like working with me. You need to see it for you so you feel confident. This is all a head game. This is just all a head game. But it's also mega helpful when you are going to pitch people, which I'm going to tell you how to do it in a second. When you pitch people, it gives you some meat to talk about. Well, tell me, Graham, do you coach people? What does that look like? And they're just like, they're afraid to ask because they don't know what the price is or whatever. And you say, oh, yeah. I do one-on-one coaching with people. Typically, I help these types of people who are struggling with these challenges. And I list some challenges like, oh, yeah, I struggle with that. And then typically after work with me, we get these typical results. They're like, oh, wow, that sounds amazing. And one of the things that I bring to coaching that I think is interesting and I want people to know is that when I think about business, I really think about how can you make more money while working less? And I think you're actually lazy if it takes you 40 hours to work. And you think, oh, well, that's a zinger. And that's almost like a filtering question or filtering point. It gives you some talking points so people can go, wow, he helps these types of people break through these challenges and get these types of results. And he's got this interesting point of view. That gives you meat to talk about as opposed to, yeah, I do one-on-one coaching and it's cost $30 an hour. They don't know, what are we talking about? How do I make a decision? I don't even know what you can help me with, or you don't even seem intriguing. So write out that basic copy, just some talking points. This is not actually sales copy. You could put it on a page, but these are just talking points for you. Number 2 for selling coaching, create a coaching menu. Okay. I've always thought of like having tiered pricing for courses or anything you offer. But this works really well with coaching. And again, I'm referencing Rich Lippin a lot because homeboy is just a brilliant at this, but I like the way he describes his coaching menu is he has 3 options. And the way he says it, when people ask, what does it look like to coach with you? Or after you've been talking about who you help and the kind of challenges you help me solve, and these are the results we get, and like they're very interesting. Okay, well, what does that look like? What does that cost? Or how long? They start to ask the very practical questions. Here's how you answer. You say, oh yeah, well, there are 3 ways clients typically work with me. This is such a great line. Such an innocuous line. There are 3 ways that clients typically work with me. The language is so specific. Rich is a genius. 1, you're not saying this is the only way to work with me. The power of product tiers or offer tiers is the power of choice. You're giving them choice. So they immediately know, okay, I'm going to have choices. Great. Because what if the one option is too expensive? You're giving them choices. And you're not saying there's 3 ways you can work with me. You're talking about other people. There's 3 ways clients typically work with me, which also leaves the door open for something completely custom, which I think is rare, but it's always good to have that door open. If somebody's like, well, I want something. You're like, well, you could do that, but that will cost you $1 million. And they might say yes. You're like, oh, okay, cool. So you say there's 3 ways clients typically work with me, and you give them option A, option B, and option C. And with each one, you say what it is, what's included, and the price. What it is, what's included in the price, same thing for the option C. And you always lead with your most expensive option. For example, I literally had this conversation with a guy on text today before filming this, which is crazy timing. Very, very, very cool timing. He was like, hey, dude, like I've helped him for free a little bit. He's like, dude, I'm serious. Like I want to pay you for coaching. What does that look like? We already know each other. We're already friends. And so I didn't have to like sell him on me. He wants to work with me. He wants to pay with me. I'm like, all right, man, there's 3 ways people typically work with me. And I gave him my options. Option 1, right, is a year-long concierge coaching program where we meet every month for 90 minutes, video coaching call. You get unlimited Voxer coaching access with me in between calls. You get access to all my courses and my sales copy and my templates and my marketing tools. And then there is a VIP day in person here in Tampa where we can workshop for like 10 hours. We'll go out to dinner. We go out on the town. All that's included, $54,000. Option B, I have a 90-day sprint. We do 6 or 7 calls over those 90 days. You also get Voxer access to me in between and access to my courses, $20,000. Or if you just want to like have an intensive, we can do a 2-hour session, $5,000. Just jump on a Zoom call. We'll bang out your biggest thing. We'll get you results. You'll know exactly what to do. 2 hours, $5,000. That's my coaching menu as of this moment, right? So I'm telling him that. And he's like, oh, great. I think I want option B, $20,000. See, and if the number's mess you up, don't listen to the numbers. Those are just my numbers. So I'm helping people scale their businesses. So the numbers are reticent to the value I can bring. I always believe that anything I sell, a course, coaching, I want people to get 10x the value that they paid for. So even when I was helping people in the music space, because people say, well, that makes sense if you're in the business space, you got to understand my first business that made me a millionaire was teaching broke musicians how to record their music at home on a budget. So I wasn't helping them make money. I was helping them with their hobby. I was selling to hobbyists. And what I would do is I would sell a course for like $150. And in the price anchoring, I would say, like, I would want to make sure if they're going to spend $150 with me, I want them to get 10x the value. I'd want them to get $1,500 of value. How do I do that? Well, I look at their alternatives. To get great sounding recordings, their alternatives are to spend $1,500 on a microphone, which is what most people on the internet are telling them to do. The reason your recordings don't sound good is because you're using a cheap microphone. So spend $1,000 to $2,000 on a good microphone, then it'll be good. Or I believe I could teach you how to use that cheap microphone you have. If you do things differently, you'll get results to sound just like the $1,500 microphone. So in essence, I got you a $1,500 value for just $150. Or I also compared it to going to audio school, like Full Sail in Orlando. You'd spend $50,000 to $100,000 in tuition. I can teach you how to do that for $150. You won't have a degree, you don't get to go to college, but you can learn, you get the same results for $150. That's like 1,000,000 times the value. So it's always about their alternatives, right? So I always want to make sure there's 10x the value. So my prices are high because I'm helping people make lots of money. But the point is I'm giving them a very expensive option for a year, and it's like everything. Like you work with me for a year, you get unlimited coaching in between, you come and hang out with me for a day, a VIP day, we go to dinner, and it's my highest price option. And then I have a 90-day option. Like, look, if you just want to work together for 90 days, let's just bang this out. It's a handful of calls. They're not as long. The calls aren't as long. And we don't hang out in person. But it's more affordable. And it's like, look, if you just want... I just did a month ago, I just did one of those $5,000 2-hour sessions with somebody. It's like, this is what I'm struggling with right now. Like, let's get on a call. $5,000. I solved a ton of problems for her in 2 hours. There's homework involved. You got to come ready so we can maximize that time. She left like knowing exactly what to do in her business. And that's all she needed. 3 options, they get to pick. So decide what your ideal, like top tier thing is going to be. Then have like most people are going to go for the middle option, and then have like a cheaper option that you still would be willing to do. Long time commitment, shorter commitment, and then maybe like a just rent my brain for a call kind of commitment. But again, these packages can be in person only. For 3 days, just come. You could just do that. If you don't want to do long-term commitments, just say I only do in-person weekend-long retreats, and I'm going to charge X, and we're going to do it in a nice hotel, like, and meet in the lobby. Like there's a million things you could do. You get to decide. That's why it's not the number of calls, it's not how many hours. It's whatever package feels right for you and your client. But have 3 options. Number 3, how do you sell coaching? By actually coaching. For people, this is for people like that you already know, people that you want to work with, that you want to reach out to, people who will reach out to you that seem very interested. The best way to have this conversation is not to talk about coaching, it's to actually coach them. So invite them to come on a free coaching session. You know, at times I've called this a discovery call, but so you can either call it a discovery call to see like if we're a good fit together, or you could say like, I'd love to just coach you for free. I'd just love to see if I can just help you for free, and jump on a call and then actually coach them. Which means you're going to start by asking questions. What do you need help with? I just was on a call like this for free. This isn't somebody that I'm trying to sell coaching to, but we're in a group together. He mentioned something he's struggling with. I was like, bro, that's literally what I help people with. I'm happy to jump on a call and help you out with that. I just spent almost 90 minutes with them on Zoom, him and his wife, helping them map out this whole new business idea. And I'm literally teaching them the stuff that I would charge $54,000 to do. The great thing is that like, if that's all he needs, then great. I've just blessed somebody and I've made a friend for life. But a lot of times what happens is when you blow people's minds by asking them the question, okay, what do you need help with? Where are you struggling? What have you tried before? Okay. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Well, here's what I would do. And I mapped out his whole business. Here's what I do. Don't worry about this. Like focus on this for the next 6 months, whatever. You blow people's minds. The best way to sell coaching is by actually doing it. And then they're like, dude, you've given them a 60-minute, a 90-minute session. Now they want more. They're going to ask the question, how do we do more of this? What would it look like to keep working together? And that's when you mention your coaching menu. And fourth and final way to sell coaching is to use an application process. This is better if you have an email list or a client base, like or customer base for your courses, or you're on a podcast or YouTube and you don't know who these people are. Before you don't want to jump on a free coaching session with everybody, right? So you want to filter out the people that you don't know anything about with an application. So get a simple Google form and walk them through a filtering process where you ask questions that's like just getting to know them, but you're filtering for a few things. Who are they? What are they really struggling with? Like if they were to work with you, what challenge do they have and what are they going to want you to solve so you can know if you can even solve that problem? Kind of where they are financially, like how much expendable income do they have to commit to this? Like you can kind of ask questions that hint at like how much they make currently, like how much they can commit, how much time they can commit to coaching, how serious they are. You could ask them their budget range. You could do a bunch of different things, but you could filter whatever you think would be helpful for you to then look at and go, you know what, I'm going to not reach out to that person. I am going to reach out to that person and offer them a free discovery coaching session and take it from there. I also like to ask, what have they tried before to solve this problem? It gives me a lot of clarity as to who they are and if they really should just watch some of my YouTube videos, or if they're like, dude, this person is serious, I'll jump on a call. That's it. So create the basic copy, create a coaching menu, sell coaching by actually coaching with a discovery call or free coaching session, and then use an application process. It's that simple. And then at the end of the day, like you're going to feel your way through this and you're going to get better at it and you're going to be able to raise your rates the more you do this and the more you spend time helping people and getting people incredible results and the more confident you feel. Last thing I want to say, because we got to wrap this up. If you're listening to this and you're like, I'm never going to do one-on-one coaching, so why am I even listening to this? First of all, I'm curious to why you've lasted this long if you're never going to do one-on-one coaching. But if that's you, or if you're like, I'm toying with it, but I'm not really sure, I get it. I highly recommend you do all the stuff we just talked about, even if you never coach a single person one-on-one. Why? You're going to feel so much more confident knowing what you're actually worth, what your actual rate is for premium one-on-one coaching if somebody actually wanted it and you actually wanted to give it. Do you know that I made my $54,000 coaching package before I ever was sure I even wanted to offer it to people? I did it for me because I asked myself, what am I actually worth? And I think I'm worth a lot more than $54,000. But again, I always want to make sure that what I'm charging, they get 10x the value. I'm confident I can help somebody create $500,000 in income in their business. I'm confident in that. So I was like, I need a package that's at least $50K. And I would want to make a package that I would want to have. I would want calls that aren't too frequent, that I haven't had time to make any progress in between calls, because I've had lots of coaches and I know what it's like to have a call every 2 weeks. And I'm like, I haven't even, those 2 weeks flew. Like I got kids, I got church, I got businesses, I got things that I'm doing. And I haven't even done the homework yet. And I hated that guilty feeling. So I was like, I want a coaching package where it's spread out long enough over we got a whole year to work together. We have a big powwow every month, so I know exactly what I'm working on that month. And then I have unlimited access to the coach in between for follow-up, for questions. Can you review this? So I don't have to wait a month to talk to them. I could talk to them every day if I wanted to, but it's on me to use that if I want that. I would want to be able to like get access to their courses as well. Like feel like I get all of it. I want like the everything package. And I would want to like go to a beautiful place like Tampa, Florida. Come join us. And spend a day in a beautiful, warm place, working with this person one-on-one and like getting that intention in person and like going out to dinner and having those side conversations where we're just getting to know each other and becoming like basically becoming friends. That's what I would want. I would want the ultimate package as a user where I know that I basically paid to become their friend and had an incredible experience. And I know that you can do a lot in a year. We can get really far in a year. So I just kind of reverse engineered the package for me. And this was before I was even sure I wanted to get back into one-on-one coaching because I've been so busy building scalable products. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to offer it. And so now I've been offering it. Now I'm selling it. And people are buying it. And we're getting great results. And I'm having fun. So my point is even before I offered this as a package, I felt legit knowing like my true value. When I'm selling $97 a month for a membership or a $500 course, I'm like, this is a freaking steal. Like if you can't afford $500 for me to blow your mind and help you build a business that's life-changing money, then go watch my YouTube channel. I don't feel bad because I know that I'm a $54,000 coach, and I know I'm more than that, but I know that I could command that fee because I do. And that just gives me confidence. So do that for yourself. Just dream up that package that you feel is appropriate for you, and it'll grow over time. But it's a stretch, and it feels scary to drop that price. That's when you know you're on the right path. It shouldn't be like easy for you to pitch it because then it's too cheap. But it'll make you feel so confident, even if you never have a client take you up on it. There you go. That was a little masterclass on high-ticket coaching from good old Uncle Graham. Will you do me a favor? Has this been helpful to you? If so, let me know. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, would you leave me a review? So many people have left so many incredible reviews, so much so that we are a top 0.5% ranked podcast globally, thanks to you. Thanks to all the downloads and the reviews, because that's how Listen Notes does it, is they create an algorithm based off of ratings, number of reviews, engagement, and downloads, all that kind of stuff. So thanks to you, we're a top 0.5% podcast globally, which is insane. But I haven't asked you to leave a review in a long time because I'm a bad podcaster, which just goes to show you can be an average podcaster and still have a top-ranked podcast. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen to the show, if you listen to the audio version of the show, would you leave a review? It really does help the show out. But it also tells me that you're listening. It tells me what you like and what you don't like. And if you're on YouTube, then it's very easy to obviously leave a comment below. Just do that right now, right below this video, and let me know if you enjoyed this episode and what was your biggest light bulb? Like, what was your biggest aha? Whether you're doing one-on-one coaching or plan to or not, what was your biggest light bulb? I'd love to know. I want to make sure this is leaving an impact in your world. All right, that's it for today, friend. Thanks for hanging with me. Hope this was powerful and mind-blowing for you. I always aim to please and serve you any way I possibly can. Appreciate your time. It's super valuable. I'll see you in another episode real soon.